Hi, welcome. I'm Deb Yorkman with SDI, and we're here today with Ternisha Simpson. And Ternisha, why don't you tell me a little bit about your role and how long you've been here at SDI?
So I have been with SDI for almost 4 years. I started off with an account in Fountain Inn, South Carolina. I was an operations analyst there at Yanfeng. It's an automotive interior plant. And I just recently left there, and now I'm at Ascend Greenwood, where I am the senior storeroom attendant.
Awesome. And Ascend is a really long-standing customer. They manufacture specialty chemicals that go into nylon 6,6, but they've also pivoted recently to manufacture antimicrobial masks to meet the demand with the pandemic. Thinking about the pandemic, um, as you reflect on what's happened over the last year, um, what's one of the biggest things you've learned, either at work or in life?
Well, at work and in life in general, I think teamwork. Just working together, making sure that everyone's okay. This has been a huge part of everyone's life. It's affected us all in one way or another. At work, we've just learned to be more safe and just really working together. The same thing at home, checking on family members, friends, making sure everyone's okay, making sure we're all trying to practice our safe social distancing and all of those things. And it's just really just made a lot of us closer.
It's that's a funny way of putting it because I feel like we're all apart, but because we're all going through the same thing, it does bring us closer. That's a good way of putting it. When you think back on the 4 years that you've been at SDI, um, what initially attracted you to this business?
Well, I took the job over the summer. There was implementation at the site, and I currently had a job. And just meeting with some of the implementation team, the site manager there, I really just fell in love with the process. Just watching something from conception to completion, that was huge for me. And they asked me to stay on, and I told them absolutely.
So what's been your biggest surprise here?
The customers. I've never really worked in a place where I've been just kind of faced with challenges as far as trying to meet some of the demands and just having people that have just been overwhelmingly supportive at the sites that I've been. I've been blessed to be able to travel around and see a couple other sites, and it's all been the same. Everybody's so welcoming, and they're just so appreciative of all the help.
But how do you know that what you do makes a difference with the customer? I mean, do you interact with them frequently or?
Yes, and that's a huge part. Not so much here at Ascend because it is a smaller site, but at Yanfeng, we had maybe 80% walk up. So we were dealing with people constantly. And it was just from the smallest technician to the just the manager of that department, or just really anybody. We had people from BMW that would come in. So there were visitors all the time. And they were very vocal about the work that we were doing. And that's what makes me feel like I did a great job, because they did not mind telling you, and we didn't mind hearing it.
Nice. It's always good when they tell you you're doing a good job because usually we've got a thankless job where it's if nobody's complaining, then no news is good news, but it's
Right.
good. And I mean, having that interaction with the customer in the walk-up window, especially that lets you kind of get to know what their needs are. Um, there's probably been a lot of challenges at either of the sites that you've been at. What's one that sticks out to you that you was a really difficult challenge that you overcame, and how did you do that?
To be honest, I would have to say we left Yanfeng, the site that I was at, that I started with the company. And, it was a sad situation. I hated to leave, and I was actually faced with the opportunity to stay on with the client. Um, but my heart is with SDI, so it was kind of a tough decision, but it's about loyalty for me. And SDI has been great to me, so I decided to stay on, and they found me another home. I'm actually closer to my home, And everybody at Ascend they're just great. So it worked out great for me.
That's great. Do you have family close by then?
Yes, yes. And that was even better. I was taking a 45-minute drive. Now I'm 15 minutes.
Oh, that's fabulous. That is
Yeah.
awesome. And you, throughout the pandemic, you're still going to the site pretty much every day?
Yes, I have not missed a day through this entire pandemic. We've been essential workers, so we've been there every day.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for, you know, doing what you need to do to get done. And I know that it's not without risk and it's not without anxiety, but you're right. I mean, we are essential workers, and what we're doing is enabling the essential work of our customers, which is, I mean, especially when you see them to be able to pivot and start to provide, PPE like that to fill a need. It just really makes you feel good, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And I was able to, in Pensacola, you were talking about the masks that they make. I was
Hmm.
able to get some and just seeing, like you said, just how important just a bottle of bleach is, and making sure that someone gets that. You just would not really ordinarily think that much about it. So, like I said, the pandemic, it has opened up my eyes to a lot of things that I didn't think were so important that are very important.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the thing, like supply chains definitely having its day. Everybody and their uncle knows they were impacted by supply chain disruptions. They couldn't get toilet paper, things like that. So having it hit home and being able to relate it to what you do at work is interesting. What's one of the things that you're really proud of accomplishing here at your time at SDI?
Um, Being able to grow from just a storeroom attendant to an operations analyst, I've been exposed to a lot. Like I said, I've been asked to travel to assist at other sites. For me, that was huge. I've been to Texas, to the Sealed Air plant there. I've been to Florida to the Ascend plant there, and it's just been huge. I just feel like everywhere I've been, it's just been family, and to me, that was an accomplishment, and just speaks of the work that I've put in.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you're definitely making a difference. Um, what's one of the most rewarding parts of your job, would you say?
I would have to say just seeing people smile. I am a people person. People, they ask me all the time, "Are you happy every day?" And I told them, not every day, but it's not my job to make you feel whatever I feel. At 7 o'clock to 3:30, I'm all about the customer, and it makes me feel good. It's You wouldn't think people would get excited about nuts and bolts and little small things, but just a smile and just a simple good morning and making sure that somebody gets what they need and just taking their job seriously as they do it makes you feel good.
I'm not a site worker, so I'm isolated at home, and it's hard, and I start getting down. But like like talking to you and hearing how like you're staying positive, even though you have to go in every day still, and that's part of the rewarding part of your job. That just makes me feel better. So thank you.
Yeah,
Completely
yeah.
unscripted. You're making an impact everywhere. Is there any advice you would give any of the new recruits coming into SDI?
I absolutely would say learn as much as you can. um, just stay positive, ask questions. It always helps. Sometimes you feel like, well, I don't know something, or I'm embarrassed to ask, but I've asked questions, and it's helped me out a lot. It's helped me grow. This company really, really supports their workers, and I love that. It's always an opportunity to grow, and that's what I had been looking for. So it makes me feel good about where I'm at.
Ternisha Simpson, thank you so much for joining us today. You are an inspiration.
Thank you. And look, here's the 50 more.